Hello everyone, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. Welcome to this video where I'm discussing the practice questions from the mains point of view. If you have not watched the other videos in this particular playlist, I want you to go back and watch all the videos in this playlist so that you will have a very clear idea about how to write the mains answer writing. Especially the first video of this particular playlist where I have detailedly discussed what should be the introduction, what should be the body of the answer, and what should be the conclusion. So without wasting any time, let's jump into the question for today. The question here says, green taxes shall have a deterrent effect, sensitizing the citizens about the pollution control and the management. Discuss. There is just one statement being given in this particular question, and the question pertains to something called as green taxes. Okay, you can look at this, green taxes. Okay, I'll repeat the question and let's try to divide this into different components. Green taxes shall have a deterrent effect, the first component, sensitizing the citizens about the pollution control and the management. Okay, see, this is the question given for a 10 marker. Clear? In order to understand this question properly, one concept that you got to know is the concept of taxation. What is taxation? Why taxes? What are the different types of taxes that we actually pay to the government? If you have studied taxation, then it becomes really easy for you to understand the purpose of green taxes. See, remember, this is not an economy based question, whereas this question pertains to environment, because this is talking about the environmental pollution and the control of the environmental pollution. See, first of all, let's understand economic wise what is taxes. See, taxes have two objectives. One is the incentivizing poor in achieving equality. The taxes all the way, the entire concept of the tax works on the income redistribution. Okay, so what does the government do with respect to taxation? Government takes more money from the people who are rich and gives the money to the people who want it. So fund surplus people are taxed more, fund deficit people are taxed less. So government is carrying out something called as income redistribution when government is carrying out taxation. Even here same thing is happening. We're calling it as green tax because those firms or those industries, those companies which are polluting the environment more are asked to pay more in the form of punishment, and those companies which are not polluting more are asked to pay less. So that is the reason why it is called as green taxes. Okay, you can look at this. The aim and the purpose of the green tax in the environment is to curb or reduce the practice of environmental pollution. So this will act as a deterrent. This will act as a disincentivizing the pollution and also the term. For example, let's take any firm which is an iron and steel industry. Let's take, if the iron and steel industry is emitting out a lot of environmentally harmful gases, then the industry would be asked to pay more in the form of tax. So what will the industry do? Will carry out some innovative measures and will put measures in place in order to reduce the air pollution. Okay, so this is something called as green taxes. It will have a deterrent effect. What is deterrence? Deterrence is something that will disincentivize, okay, and sensitizing the citizens. It will create awareness amongst the citizens in pollution control and the management. Okay, so with this introduction, in the introduction part of this particular answer, you can define taxation in the first sentence, and you can also talk about what are green taxes following in the introduction only. Let's see. Environmental tax reforms generally involve three complementary activities. Environmental tax reform will involve these three activities. First one, eliminating the existing subsidies and the taxes, and increasing in the taxes for those industries which are polluting in nature. For example, let's take a water bottle manufacturing company or a packaged drinking water. Because this single-use plastic being used, that particular industry should not be getting any subsidies and the taxes should be higher. Okay, so this is how the environmental tax reforms generally operate in an economy which is trying to become more sustainable. As you know that India has a target of achieving sustainable development goals by 2030. 2015 we came out with sustainable development goals or SDG. Okay, and India is an active member and India is trying hard to attain SDG, that is sustainable development goals, by 2030. Restructuring the existing taxes in an environmentally supportive manner. This is what we were talking about. If a company is polluting more, that company will be asked to pay more for its pollution. As simple as this. See, this is the same mechanism that we have in the COP15 also. That is Paris Climate Deal. If you remember COP15, Paris Climate Deal, it is the same concept. The companies or the countries which have polluted more, which are the reasons for the actual global warming and the climate change, are asked to pay more. And if you remember, the developed countries should come out with a corpus of $100 crore or $100 billion for that matter. Every year, the developed countries should come out with $100 billion corpus, and this money should be used in the developing countries in order to fight climate change. On the same lines, those countries, restructuring of the existing taxes in an environmentally supportive manner is very, very required. Initiating a new environmental taxes. So this initiation of the new environmental taxes is something that we have in the form of green taxes. Okay, so understood this. Green taxes ensures what will happen if a country comes out with something called as green taxes. First thing that will ensure is environment as a public good. Environment as a public good. Correct. Second, environmental protection. Environmental protection. Though you might ask, we have laws for the environmental protection. We have Environmental Protection Act. We have Wildlife Protection Act. But those acts will not be enough if you want to bring some behavioral changes. We saw recently what happened in Delhi. The Delhi's air quality index was so high. It was so poor. And Delhi is called one of the most polluted capital cities in the world. And Delhi is ranked in the top 20 or top 50 polluted cities in the world. Okay, so if you want to bring some behavioral changes throughout the population, such measures or such green tax measures are very, very essential. Second, fiscal benefits. Okay, with the fiscal benefits should be given to the company, and green taxes, remember, are also a method for the government to earn money. Okay, anywhere we find a name called fiscal, and in the economy we would have studied fiscal policy and monetary policy. And what are fiscal policies? Those policies adopted by the government in controlling inflation and regulating growth are nothing but fiscal policies. So these are some of the things that gets ensured once the government starts enacting the green taxes. Okay, so with this, let's go for the second question. In the present context, there's a need to balance between economic growth and the social development. Can a public sector lending, which is nothing also called as priority sector lending, PSL, as a concept and as a practice be reprioritized? So what is PSL? In India, the banking sectors require, for example, let's take a Canara Bank. The RBI says, if Canara Bank is lending 100 rupees to people, 40 rupees out of it, which means 40%, should be lent to sectors like agriculture, MSME, renewable energy, education, health, and the vulnerable sections. So these sectors should get 40 rupees out of 100, and this policy, and this is mandated. The banks in India should provide such loans, and this is called as priority sector lending. Okay, so associated issues with the PSL, problem of moral hazard, and also increasing in the number of NPAs. So how does the burden of the NPAs? See, let's talk about the crop loan or the agricultural loan. See, the banks know that it is always better to lend money to a merchant, to a businessman, than lending money to the farmer, because the loan becoming NPAs, there are high chances of the loans becoming NPAs if at all a loan is being given to agriculture over a business. So this is a problem with the moral hazard and the high burden of NPAs, economic burden for the bank, and more number of NPAs, more liabilities, more burden for the bank. Way forward, what should be done? Leveraging JAM, Jandan, Aadhaar and the mobile. Jandan, Aadhaar and the mobile in order to eliminate fake accounts and also to make sure that all the benefits that the government wants to give it to the beneficiaries will reach them for social development, increasing in the quota of social infrastructure. So these are some of the things that should be done in order to make sure that economic development gets reflected in the social sector and India can achieve inclusive growth going forward. So with this, we've come to the end of the video. Have a nice day. Thank you. If you have liked the video, hit the like button and also hit the bell icon to not to miss any update from the Legacy IAS. Have a nice day. Thank you.